Hofstra University students gather to discuss what they think should be done about the fiscal cliff and what they think would happen to the economy if the president and Congress don't reach agreement to avoid the fiscal cliff.
I think it's a big threat to our economy. I think if we go over that fiscal cliff, who knows what's going to happen in terms of getting things back to where they were, getting production up, all aspects of our economy. However, I personally think that it's maybe being overplayed a little bit. I think that the president and our overall political system will come to an agreement because they know that if for some reason we do go over the fiscal cliff, it's going to affect so many Americans.
Health and wellness of Americans would be detrimented if the fiscal cliff was put into effect because, you know, I don't necessarily think the public sector is the answer, but I don't think dismantling it is the right way to go right now. Also, it doesn't make much sense to me to tax people who are already struggling in this country more. I think we should tax people based on their incomes. And if we have to raise the income a little more, I mean, the gap between the rich and the poor is rising for a reason.
The fiscal cliff, I feel like it should be done just because it will reduce the budget, the deficit, but I like what Obama's starting with now is just to not tax the middle class, to start with at least the upper class and like the more rich, just to initiate it, because we don't need right away everyone getting steep tax increases and budget cuts. But eventually the middle class is going to have to start paying a little bit more in tax increases just so that we can get out of the deficit because it's so large.
My view is that if somebody has worked so hard to make such an amount of money, then they should be able to keep the same portion as everybody else. So I do think that the percentage of tax, of course percentage, but it should be a little bit more equal across the board. And so I think that even though I am lower middle class, that lower middle class should be taxed just a tiny bit more, that everybody should be taxed just a tiny bit more. And so if everybody can contribute, then everybody can work to then actually cover the budget and to then bring the national deficit down.